So the Mazda Shootout is a competition that Mazda Motorsports puts together to find best up-and-coming road racers in America and give them an opportunity to further their careers. iRacing's involvement allows sim racers, presumably with not a lot of real-world seat time, the same opportunity. This year, iRacers who compete in the Season 3 iRacing Mazda Cup will have the opportunity to go to the shootout this fall. Last year was the first year that iRacing was involved, and we sent 2 iRacers to the shootout. Evan and Steven, they did great on track. They were really fast in the car and represented sim racers and iRacers very well. The way that iRacers will qualify is that the top 10 in finishing points will be invited to submit an application to iRacing. We'll review that with a panel here, and we'll pick 2 finalists who will then automatically go right on to the shootout. So this is a really great opportunity for any racer, and especially a sim racer. The winner of the shootout this fall wins a fully paid scholarship from Mazda to compete in the 2016 Battery Tender Mazda MX-5 Cup. It's a really great prize, really great opportunity if you want to have a road racing career.
Round 5, viewers. This is going to be an exciting race after the open spaces of our Enduro Round 4 at Phillip Island. We're at the tight circuit of the Americas West for Round 5 action of the Daminov Innovations official iRacing Supercar Series. With me in the box, Sam Compton. Sam, welcome to the broadcast. Should be a great race tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Brenton. Really looking forward to this race tonight. It's a pretty tricky track, but it can make for some good racing, and it can make for lots of single file action, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we've got some new additions to the series, it would seem, tonight. Some very, very familiar and some very, very fast names. It's fantastic to have them on board. We have Madison Down with us for TTR. We also have Richard Hampstead with us for TTL. So these are the guys, the good guys, the quick guys are here now as well to take the fight to Ethan Grigol and to Ian Ford. So really looking forward to having them involved in this series, and hopefully we'll see them many times to come.
Yeah, good to see Madison Down making an appearance, and at the moment he's sitting on top of the qualifying board by nearly 7/10, so let's see if Ethan can catch him down.
Yeah, Circuit of America is a really tight track. We're using the West Complex tonight, which was used for the Austin 400 back in 2013, I think it was, where Jamie Whincup had a win there for the Red Bull Racing and the V8 Holden Commodore there. So 3 kilometres pretty much, give or take, tight track. Temperature today, the weather should be fairly quick conditions. It's partly cloudy, 26 degrees, so the track temperature is 40 degrees. Northeast winds at 20 kilometres an hour, so should be in for some tight racing with some pretty fast times.
Yeah, it's a pretty warm track, so I think there won't be too much grip out there for the boys, so it's going to be interesting the first few laps here.
Well, like I said, it's a tight track. We've got a hot lap this week brought to you by Just for Fun Racing, JFF. I think Josh Burden's put a lap together for us this week. So we'll get Josh to talk us around the track, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. Obviously, there was a bit of a technical glitch there. We didn't get to hear that lap around, but thanks to JFF and to GT Omega for that lap. And yeah, it's a team that's on the up and up, so make sure you get on board with GT Omega and yeah, see how they go helping out. We've got just the minute and a bit to go of qualifying here. Madison down so far as provisional pole with the 1 minute 33.353. Just behind him now, Ethan Grigort, that's our series leader. Just probably 1800ths off of that time. Dennis Gaderick has shown some good pace here this week. Did a really good job in the V8 America's Supercar race on the Friday. Led until late where he made a late mistake letting Marlon McMullen through. Ian Ford has taken 4 out of the 5 pole positions this series so far. Is in 3rd place, the same position as last week. So he's just taken Dennis Gaderick. Richard Hampstead, multiple winner of the Premier Series, an outstanding driver for TTL with a 34.3, so that's 1.2 seconds off the provisional pole. David Moore, it's an outstanding time there for Dave in 6th position. Mick Cracknell, 34.4 as well, as there's some improvements coming through. Marcelo Rivera in the Whale Life car, 34.5. Chris Coxhead and James McKnight driving for STC Motorsports at the moment are rounding out your top 10. We're going to have 20 starters tonight as qualifying's finished, so the lap times of McKnight, Zoko, Parks will count. Martin Creamers for SDRT. Great to have their representation in the series, probably for the first time, I think. I'm pretty sure it is on a quick lap. Greg Sharp on a quick lap. Richard Hampstead Also on a quick lap, just trying to see if there's going to be any changes so far. Top 10 look fairly solid. Anthony Manzarella for the Maverick Welding car has finished his lap, so no improvement there at all.
It looks like we've got James McKnight pushing it pretty hard here, so it'll be interesting to see if he can improve. It's good to see James back. He's been having a lot of issues at home, not bad issues, just real world family stuff, so it's good to see him racing today, and great to see Dennis up there in the top 5.
Yeah, will you be able to tell us, has Dennis actually joined you guys? I've seen he still looks like he's running as a privateer, not wearing the SimPic colours from what I can see on my screen anyway tonight as yet. So what's the story with Dennis? Is he on board?
Dennis is 100% back driving for STC. He's had a bit of a break with a new job and things like that, and yeah, he made the announcement that he's going to be back racing the V8 Supercar Series for the rest of the season, so great to see Dennis back.
Oh, well, that's outstanding as McKnight crosses the line. Does make an improvement up to a 34.7. Just that one spot up, knocking Chris Coxhead down to 10th. Not sure if we've got any more quick laps. Todd Parks, no improvement there. I would dare say that is the end of qualifying for round 5 here at Circuit of the Americas West. Great qualifying session. Fantastic to have Madison Down back with us, and has shown really his strength here. Madison Down taking pole position with a 33.1. I would say that's pretty close to the fastest lap I've seen this week. Ethan Grigalt 4/10 of a second off in second place. Ethan, qualifying isn't his strong suit. We know that he will get stronger as the race goes on. Ian Ford a 33.8. We're not actually Bo Cattell tonight, I've noticed, and actually no Bo Cubis either, unfortunately. Cattell with his rocket starts the last 2 rounds would have been fantastic to have him on board. And good man Dennis Gaderick there in 4th position in front of Richard Hampstead. So that's a pretty tight qualifying session there for the top 5. And of those top 5, 4 teams represented.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's good to see Madison, and it'll be interesting to see what Ethan can do, whether he can chase him down. I know the STC boys they're not a big fan of the track, so we'll see how they go.
Not sure how many are, to be honest with you, but there's no turn names here at Circuit of the Americas. The Americans not big on giving corner names out, so really you just hear us saying turn 1 and turn 2, etc. And the fight into turn 1 today, up that long hill. Yeah, they can go 3 or 4 wide easily. There's been some dramas in some of the earlier races, but expect a great start here off the grid from Madison Down. He's just an absolute professional. This has done a fair bit of practice before this race from what I understand, so expecting great things him from the Ultimate Karting Sydney TTR car.
Yeah, I haven't been following too much this week, Brenton. I've had a week away, mate. It's summer holidays here, so it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure where everyone stands and how fast, who's the fastest, but I guess we're about to find out.
Well, revs are building. We've got 25 laps ahead of us. They won't need to pit at all, starting with about 74 litres, so in essence it's just a fairly short sprint race for these guys, so expecting lots of drama and action tonight. So as cars just settle in, all cars on the grid, 20 in the field tonight, strong field. We are go for round 5, Circuit of the Americas, and a really steady start there by Ian Ford. Madison Down's going to be holding that inside line. Watch for Ethan Grigalt around the outside. Ian Ford deep under brakes, probably won't get the drive out of turn 1. Easy into turn 2 here, you're going to be hung out to dry. Richard Hampstead will probably get that job done on Ian Ford, I'd imagine. Battling away, no contact, fantastic driving, still tight here. And Hampstead's through, so Hampstead through to 3rd on the track, up from 5th on the grid. Doesn't look like there's any dramas behind. Gaderick, Rivera, Greg Sharp may have had an issue.
Yeah,
Benjamin Suzuko has just driven into the side of Greg Sharp there, unfortunately. So, but a pretty good start apart from that.
Great start. It looked like Ethan was going to shut the door there on Ian, and they both thought better of it. And it looks like Ethan got a better drive out of the corner as we see some action back in the field.
Well, you do. Ian Ford's actually made that pass there into turn 12 on the release to turn 13 here. And then back again comes Hansen, so some great side-by-side action here. Ian Ford's going to want to go and get this job done as they go around the Istanbul part of the track here, turn 16, 17 on the release to 18. So there's a little bit of a train already behind Richard Hampstead here, but he'll just get stronger and stronger as this race goes on. But what a battle we've got here. Hampstead, Ford, Gadderick, Rivera, Cracknell, Moore, McKnight, all line with Coxhead just that little bit off, but he's certainly going to be well and truly in the running here. Team Hunter breaks it around.
Dennis, too deep.
Dennis has made a mistake.
Oh, he's going to make it stick.
That's got, yeah, he has made that stick, but that, you would think there would have to be a slowdown. The beneficiary there is Marcelo Rivera has put his way of life car there. Hampstead's got the shakes there.
Oh, if he pulls this off, that is the pass of the century.
Oh, and what's going on with Richard Hampstead here? I'm just wondering if he's got some damage. Yes, he has. So that's terrible news for our multiple Premier Series champion, Richard Hampstead. Would have loved to have seen him have a clean run there. And I do think that we've got an STC car has slowed right down as well. I think it was a Mick Cracknell. Yep, so Mick Cracknell's also fallen back as well. So McKnight also obviously had that slowdown, which we talked about. But Dennis Gaddering, that has promoted him from 5th up into 3rd place. And, well, that was love to see the replay of that. That
is the pass of the season so far, I think, Brenton.
Well, I'm not going to give that to you, mate, because it wasn't a clean pass because you had a shortcut. So it's horrible. Not the pass of the season. It was horrible. It was horrible. And he might have actually taken out. He might have taken out Richard Hampstead as well. So not the greatest pass in the world, and I think he has apologised for that. Yes. You got your STC hat on tonight, mister. You can keep your STC hat off.
I've been away for a week, mate, so I've got to get some team passion. No, the boys did really good. They saw what was happening there and they checked up and gave them a bit of room.
But what that's also done is completely gapped our first two back to 3rd place already. So the battle between Madison Down and Ethan Grigor is just 6 seconds back to Dennis Gaddering. So as a spectacle, it might have taken a bit away from us. Dennis's last lap of 35.9 compared to the 34.3 and the 33.4 of Ethan Grigor and a 33.6 of Madison Down in front. So these guys here will keep racing hard, and you'll see Dennis Gaddering under pressure shortly from recovering Ian Ford. Marcelo Rivera has done an outstanding job there, kept his nose clean from 8th on the grid up to 5th. David Moore, short with the new colours tonight for SSR, has also done a great job up into 6th place from, where was he? Stayed on 6th on the grid.
And Madison's not really pulling away from Ethan here, so we're going to have a bit of a battle on, I think.
Just looking at the back of Madison's car, it looks to me as if there's just an ever so slight bit of damage there. Just having a look now. Oh, yeah, I think there is. So that, or the paint job looks a little bit skewy from my
job. Yeah, looks pretty clean from my view here.
So as they start lap 4 now, lap 4, 33.899. So a slight gain there. So the gap out to Dennis Gadderick though hasn't gone too high there. Still just over the 6 seconds there. So Dennis with a pretty good lap there. Ian Ford chasing down. Actually, Ian's last lap was the second fastest lap of that. Second fastest of that last lap. And the racing's still close throughout. Just trying to see Martin Carroll. You haven't heard much from Marty this week. So 13th position on the grid, up into 10th. He's behind James Keane, who I know has struggled a bit of late in this race. Just struggling with the setup this week. So hopefully he'll keep it mistake free. But it's a good little battle here with Keane, Carroll and Cracknell, who's gone from 7th. I'd say had a shortcut early and has slipped down the order a bit.
And it looks like Ian has made the move on Dennis. I think Dennis might have had a slowdown actually. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, I would say he has, because that's quite a sizable gap that Ian's already pulled. Be interested now. I know the Evolution Racing Australia cars are going a completely different direction with their setups this week. So hoping that the cars and the tyres can hang in there longer for Ian Ford tonight. But back at the front, Ethan Grigor is still there with Madison down. Madison hasn't gone anywhere as yet, so that's a battle that's going to continue now as we end lap 4. Expecting this battle to continue throughout the race.
Yeah, it looks like Ethan's a little bit better under brakes up here in turn 1 on Madison. But then Madison sort of gaps him in the last section of the track, around turn 16, 19. So, yeah, you see he just closes up a little bit.
Yeah, and unfortunately we have lost Richard Hampstead still in the pits there from that damage sustained. Martin Carroll under attack from his teammate of Mick Cracknell, so... Oh, Marty's actually just tagged the back of James Keane there.
Looks like Marty locked the brakes coming in and just got caught the end of that.
So Carroll has still held that 10th position in front of Cracknell. So some real good racing back here. Marty was a bit of a star of the show last week. We've also got Anthony Manzarella in 12th place. Matt Stratford. It's a great looking skin again by the Ford Motorsports. So we've got Mario Karts behind him. Hasn't had a great week in keeping his car off of other cars, unfortunately, this week. So hopefully he'll stay mistake free. But this battle here with Carroll, Keane and Cracknell has just been joined by Manzarella.
Yeah, this is the battle of the race right here. Cracknell's all over the back of Carroll.
Yeah, and the fastest of this pack last lap was Manny Stratford there, so he's certainly tagged on as well. So I'd say Keane's just holding this group up, you know, what's a 36.5 last lap. Certainly down on his race pace from previous lap. So yeah, one of his slower laps, but he's doing a good job. Hasn't done any blocking at all as they go into last turn here.
Making a dive on the team boss. Got to be careful, Mick. Makes it nice. A little bit loose on exit. Marty's going to have to run up the straight now, so...
Well, what this has done to let Manzarella, if Manzarella's got that spot if he needs to take it here, as they go again under brakes. Turn 1, Carroll very wide there, but he'll get some good drive. We've got some 3 wide action here, turn 1. And the boss has held on there, has his Cracknell's got some really good drive. He'll have the inside running for the next turn there at turn 3, going through this is turn 4. This is based on Silverstone, I believe. I think it's a great representation, but so Cracknell through. I would think that Cracknell would really now be able to put some harder pressure on Keane. Just looking at that battle, if Cracknell wide there on exit there at turn 10.
Oh, Marty locks the brake. He's definitely getting a bit old. His reflexes are going out the window a little bit here.
Yeah, well, you can tell with Marty the arthritis has obviously kicked in. And there goes Mario, brothers. I'm telling you now. Yeah, and Mario Vlasic has just taken yet another victim this week. He's not impressing anyone. Certainly hasn't impressed me. I'm not going to hold back and get stuck in and say that the driver he has displayed this week has been just a little bit short of disgraceful.
Yeah, it's a tough, tight track, mate. Yeah, Matt Stratford not real happy there either.
Yeah, the drivers are talking about that on the chat as to that someone's been Mario'd again. So, yeah, I can't believe he's still got his safety rating anyway. But what that's done is he's absolutely canned Matty Stratford there, and he drives on as if nothing's happened. That's a week in, week out event for Mario, unfortunately. And Matty Stratford now, he's going to have a bit of mist between the eyes, and he might get back to Mario because generally he's fast. And also Manzarella got caught up in that. Not sure if that was of his own doing or not, just on exit of that turn.
Yeah, it looked like he just spun it around in front of Marty. I couldn't see whether Marty just gave him a little tap, but I don't think he did.
So, yeah, so as we drive on now, lap 7, and that accident with Vlasic and Stratford has really opened it up. Marty Carroll certainly has dropped back from Mick Cracknell that last lap, who's going to start putting pressure again on James Keane. We've got Richard Hampstead back out on track, so it's great to have him back out there. That car's heavily damaged on the back, so Richard's a number of laps down, 3 laps down, but it's great to see him and the TTL team back out here running the Pagnian colours tonight, and hopefully Richard won't get put off by the lap 2 drama that came upon him from Mr. McKnight. But Keane doing a great job still with Cracknell, Carroll, Vlasic, Parks, Kramers. David Haynes has done a good job here racing the Red Bull Racing livery here tonight. Greg Sharp, Matty Stratford and Anthony Mansorella, obviously after their dramas the previous lap. But up the front here, Madison Down and Ethan Grigol. This hasn't changed at all. Ethan is still all over the back of Madison Down. Ian Ford has just dropped that 2 seconds off, so Madison extremely experienced. All things going, he is probably the best V8 supercar driver, certainly of 2015, showing some dominant races in the Premier Series. However, he certainly hasn't come in here and swept all away from him with Ethan Grigol right on his tail.
No, and we saw last week Ethan, he was running second for quite a long time and got the pass done towards the end, so we'll just see. Madison doesn't make mistakes, so it'll be a rare when you see Madison make a big mistake, so we'll just have to see if Ethan can get him here and see who's got the best setup this week.
Yeah, Madison just looks very controlled, doesn't he? He controls his race pace just so very well, doesn't he? And at the moment might just be putting the line out for Ethan and saving his tyres and things like that. I'm not sure he is. But, Ethan at the same time, well, we know what he does. We know he's quick, doesn't do the Premier Series. So, in essence, the leading lights from the Premier Series have brought the fight to Ethan. And I think Ethan's responded very well. He's still in second place. Madison hasn't driven away at all. There's talk of, if Madison came in and raced, he'd win by 30, 40 seconds. That could be the case on some tracks that he's done that he does really well at. He does well here, and Ethan's still here at the end of lap 9. He's 0.4 of a second behind.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks, where you just got to try and get into a rhythm and don't make mistakes. There's lots of opportunities for slowdown penalties and off track, so you've got to watch your incidents. And it's a bit of a snooze fest, if you ask me.
Yeah, not a fan at all. Such a tight layout here, and not sure why they don't do the full Grand Prix layout. But we've also got an exciting battle here back for P16 with Mansorella and David Haynes and Matty Stratford. So Mansorella somewhere has actually overtaken Matty Stratford. Didn't see that action, but this is a good battle for 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th position with Greg Sharp. And Greg Sharp's just one of those regulars. He doesn't set the world on fire, but he does a good job week in, week out. Normally, you would find him 16th position seems to be his favourite position week in, week out. But again, here running the Demonov Innovations car, doing a good job. Matty Stratford had some smaller dramas in the earlier race, the 6:15 race. Ended up showing some really good late race pace. And Anthony Mansorella, this is his first race of the week. I think these guys are slowly being held up by David Haynes. So Haynes doing nothing wrong in the car 17 there, and has actually shown some good pace again during the week as well. But this is a good battle.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see if Matt Stratford can have some patience here. He looks like he might be the quickest out of these three.
Yeah, I'd imagine he'd be pretty keen to get up to that car, that's a fair bit down the track, the number 16 car. And I'll wear any comments later on about Mr. Vlasic. That's not going to be a problem. But it's a good battle here. The times are just off a bit. 37.4 for Haynes. So well down on what the trailing pack here have got potential to do. Mansorella deep under brakes. This is last turn 20. Let's see what kind of drive out he gets and whether he can take Matty Stratford with him.
It's going to be interesting up here into turn 1. See what happens. Make sure they all keep their head.
Well, Matty's going to want to brake fairly late here.
He's done a good job to pull it up.
Yeah, so Haynes has done a good job there. He did put a bit of a fight, but it wasn't ridiculous about it. Certainly couldn't be accused of blocking there. But you can see Mansorella now with Stratford through, how quick they can get to the Vlasic Parks Creamers battle in front of them. They're 5 seconds down at the moment, and certainly have the potential to make some gains. Looking at the time of the battle in front of them with the Sudden Death Racing Team entry of Martin Kramers in 14th, the SSR car of Todd Parks, who put in a good performance last week at Phillip Island in the main split, and Mario Vlasic there in 12th place. So what's last time's 36.5 for Vlasic, held up 37.1 for Mansorella and Stratford, and Sharp has also got through Haynes. So position changes there for Haynes, has dropped down quite a few positions, but he's kept the car straight, and I would imagine in the top split right in this race, that's where he wants to be. So James Keane has been overtaken by Mick Cracknell as well, so Cracknell up into 9th. James McKnight is 8th. Chris Coxhead, haven't spoken about him, again did a great job last week, just making outside the top 10. He's up into 7th position. Dave Moore, the leading SSR car tonight. That's a good pickup for the SSR team. Dave Moore, formerly of Multi 21, certainly has shown some serious talent in some of the other races. Just probably got held back on some occasion at some races, but showing his true potential now. I'll tell you, Marcelo Rivera in the other way alive cars also making gains on Dennis Scaderick in front. Ian Ford's maintaining that 3rd position, a last lap of 34.4. But up at the front, Greg Gall and Madison Down, having a look at their last lap times, there's only the 7/100ths of a second between the two. So again, Greg Gall's not going anywhere.
No, the gap has not changed at all for the last, well, since the start really. So it's going to be a battle of tyres and who has the best setup.
So looking at Mansarella again here with a 36.1 last lap, certainly making gains on the pack in front. So the pack in front, Blastich, Parks and Kramers, and just as a bit of a promotion on the SDRT car here of Martin Kramers. These guys are a fairly new team. I think they've only been going for probably, what, a good part of 8 months, and it's great to have any new team on board, especially ones that are competitive fairly quickly. And I'll tell you, keep an eye out for, I think it's Brett Cananzi as well. They'll probably be racing in the lowest, but keep an eye out for that driver. He's going to be exceptionally quick when he gets up to here. But the SDRT team, for all those information out there, they're going to be running a Enduro series starting, I think it's this week at Sebring on Saturday night. So every 3 weeks on a Saturday night, they'll be running a 4-hour Enduro race. I think that's 7 rounds there. So for all you V8 fans out there who want to get into the endurance racing and just cut some more laps with a teammate, jump on board the SDRT team and in the iRacing forums and nominate your team and get in there and enjoy the racing.
Yeah, I think they might have already had one round. I did one of the trial races with them. It was really enjoyable, and yeah, it should be a really good series.
Yeah, so Mansarella and Stratford behind this, as we said, their lap times certainly has been upped on Parks, etc. in front. But Marty Carroll now has got to James Keane as well. And Keane very loose there on the exit of turn 18, I think it is, as they go deep. Or sorry, not turn 18. This, where are we at here? Sorry, we're at the exit of turn 11 heading towards turn 12. Sorry, turn 16, I'll get it right in a second. As we go through the Turkish part of the track, my map's all over the shop at the moment. So the guys here are just going to be holding 4th, accelerating to 5th, and it's so much wheel spin and oversteer on the exit there by Keane, and he's really starting to fight hard with that car.
Yeah, and just on another one, Ethan just gave Madison a little bump into turn 1 there, so Ethan might be picking up the pace a little bit up here trying to get the lead.
Well, again, we keep saying Madison certainly brought the fight to Ethan this week, and he's to be congratulated for it. He could have very easily stayed away. So super happy to have the TTR and TTL guys here in strength again. And you know, if Madison Down comes and races, well, it's a big show. Everyone enjoys watching Madison drive. He does a great job. Great ambassador for iRacing, great ambassador for the V8 Supercar set. Yeah, these guys here, they do well in any car that they race in. They love the V8s. They're doing a good job in other series as well. But Madison doesn't do as much racing as usual. Leads the Premier Series. I'm thinking with himself and Jared Filsell have won the greater majority of the races. I think, well, I'm certain that Madison leads the series in front of Ian Ford and Jared Filsell in 3rd. But as we jump on board here with Ethan Grigor, we might just talk you around a lap here. I'm not going to say it's a wonderful track, it's a goat track, but we're exiting turn 20 here as we go up through the gears. So up into 4th, 5th. So we're only reaching 230, peaking 244, deep under brakes here at turn 1. Second gear here, Madison defensive has to be seen there. The wider line gets that good drive, but just that tighter line, you can make that much more track position here as we go through that long sweeping turn 2. They'll be into 5th gear. They can hold 5th gear here just that bit longer, dropping to 4th through turn 3. Turn 4 holding 4th gear, just that little punch into here. Turn 4 dropping to 3. Tight little exit here at turn 7 as they go through the chicane, turn 8, 9. 3rd gear here as they accelerate out of turn 10. This is going back to the Grand Prix track here at the end of the main straight into that tight turn 11 here, really tight. Second gear corner there. Just soft through the gears here, third, back into second again, another tight exit here. This is a really technical part of the track here. Short shift to third, you don't want wheel spin out of here. Just that little bit of drive again, deep into second. You almost feel like you're going the wrong way here for a little bit. At this turn, you're going away from the corner. I think it's probably one of the tightest turns that we have on the V8 program. As they go through 16, 17 just here, and on the exit hard now at 18. Again, trying to reach fifth gear. Down to third gear here, so sharply through the gears, just taking a little bit of the inside strip there. Third gear again as they come into this turn here, down into second. Be careful of your exit here, can be slippery on the exit with the AstroTurf. That's a pretty good lap by both guys, and Ethan Grigalt certainly continue to put pressure on. A lap time of 34.791, outstanding for lap 14.
Yeah, that section from turn 10 to turn 19, I describe that as driving around a shopping centre trying to find a park, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's certainly different to what the boys were used to, and certainly completely different to the fast open action that we had at Phillip Island last week and Spa the week before, and even to a point Alton Park. Next week they're off to Sebring. So, these tracks here, it's good to have these tight technical tracks, but they don't suit the V8 that well, in my opinion. Some guys love them. That's why this track's here. We have a voting system. This is one of the tracks that get voted in every season. Not sure why, but yeah, some do love them.
And that's what makes this championship so interesting. One track can suit one driver, and next week it doesn't suit them at all.
So back to, we've got Mario Vlasic actually making big gains on James Keane. Keane's last lap down to a 38.4, so a 2-second gain there. Just wondering, Todd Parks dropped back a little bit from Vlasic. Kramers, Mansarella and Stratford haven't really made the gains that we thought they might do on the Kramers battle upstairs from them, but interesting to see Vlasic now making some good ground on James Keane. Yeah, Chris Coxhead.
Yeah,
and that's easy to do there, and what that's done has let Mick Cracknell through, so he's dropped the 2 positions there. Also, has Marty Carroll come across some drama as well? Marty just seems to have dropped off just that little bit. Just wondering whether he had a slow down that last lap, but certainly a gain maker. And with Keane just seems to be holding up Vlasic that little bit. Parks and Kramers certainly not out of this running at all. So just seeing if Keane can stay in front of Vlasic here, and hopefully Mario Karts can stay nice and clean here. And Parks and Kramers can see if they can make gains, whilst Keane just seems to be holding up a little bit. Last lap there of Keane, a 36.8 for 36.4, 35.9's behind him, and so Todd Parks certainly making a move now in the SSR car.
Yeah, I'm just going all around the field, and it's pretty hard to find a good battle. Probably the closest battle is Matty Stratford and Anthony Mansarella here, so we'll see if Stratford can get the move done.
Well, I'm not sure here we are on lap 16 that they want to be battling too much, but you're right, Stratford just seems to be getting a little bit toey behind Mansarella, but these guys have got the potential. They're quite a little bit behind Kramer, so yeah, the gloves will probably be off there soon, but I do think the closest battle is right here with Keane and Vlasic again. Vlasic deep under brakes there at turn 11. Like I said, that's getting off of the Grand Prix straight there, so back into the west configuration. And Keane certainly seems to be holding Vlasic up, so be interested to see if there's any drama ahead of us. This little section here, it is such a precise track, isn't it? And you can, if you just go off to the left there a little bit, you just seems to lose so much grip. You just got to stay so far away from that AstroTurf. But Keane's done a pretty good last half of this lap here on lap 16. Just seems to have pulled that little minute gap, and Vlasic there just braking too deep. Don't be surprised if Parks gets a good run here.
Yeah, Vlasic just made a little bit of a mistake there. Keane's definitely gapped him a little bit, so he might have trouble catching up with James Keane, I think. Might just be pushing it that little bit too hard. And this is one of those tracks, if you try and push it, it's going to bite you.
Yeah, well, from that little mistake there by Vlasic, now Todd Parks is all over the back of Mario Vlasic, and I think that Parks does have the faster car, and we know that Todd does a great job of looking after his car throughout as well, so SSR will have a good setup that will hopefully look after their tyres.
Heading back to the leaders here, Ethan is all over Madison down, so it's going to be interesting. Ethan just keep his head, maybe pressure Madison into making a mistake and get the pass done. What have we got? About 7 to go, 8.
Yeah, well, catching's one thing, passing another. The thing is, though, Ethan hasn't really caught Madison. He's been there the whole race. So it's been fantastic driving up the front by these two. These two have gapped Ian Ford back into third place now. Ian's 9 seconds back, but he lost that 7 seconds straight away from that lap 2 incident. But tell you what, Ethan Grigol, stand up and applaud, because he's done a fantastic job throughout this race.
And he's looking pretty tidy too. It's only turn 20, he seems to get a little bit loose trying to get the power down. I think if he can get turn 20 right, he might be able to get a good run on Madison up the big straight. Like you said earlier as well, Brent, Madison might just be managing this gap as well, so we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, he could be, but there's not much of a gap there. Certainly not allowing himself to make any mistake whatsoever. And Ethan's quick, so he's not exactly going to be hanging around either. So, Madison's qualifying time was 4 tenths up, but I don't think that Ethan's specialty is his qualifying. I really don't. I'd be pretty confident with the STC Motorsports team that the tyre pressures would be fairly low. Don't suit them to qualifying. But I think that the tyre pressures that the STC Motorsports team run are certainly beneficial for their race trim. And look, he just seems to be able to hold a tighter entry and tighter exit. But is Madison down holding him up? Not so sure.
I don't think he's holding him up, but I don't know. I thought Ethan might have got a better run down the big straights here and be able to have a look, but maybe Ethan's managing his tyres. Maybe it's opposite. I know Ethan puts a lot of emphasis on his race pace and got great setups here built in the sim pit, STC Motorsports cars, and a lot of time goes into the race setups, and maybe it's something we need to work on a bit more as the qualifying pace.
Well, qualifying second on the grid behind Madison now, certainly nothing shabby there.
That's true.
These guys have been together the whole race. The weather temperatures, the lap times are a little bit down, as you said, with the track temperature being out to 40 degrees. But no, it's still fantastic racing up here. And I'm just going to go back through the field a little bit here, see if there's been any change at all with Keane. No, actually Keane has pretty much got away, and Vlasic and Parks still battling here. Parks certainly getting held up. Well, I think we're joining them pretty close to a right time here. And I'll apologise to Martin Kramers now. I'm not sure how you're going to pronounce it, but I do get your message there. And no, we're not going to be calling him Cosmo just yet.
Well, maybe we can. Don't give us any ideas there, Marty.
Well, see, Marty used to drive for Mad Cow Racing, so he left what was a very strong international team. Certainly didn't put a lot of time and effort into the V8s. So I think Richard Aylward's still with that team, the Mad Cow Racing, but I think Martin Kramers / Cosmo has joined this STR team, and he brings a lot of strength to that team, and they are a team certainly on the up. I believe started by Shane Rayner. I'm going to try and do a piece for them soon in the iRacing news, so just watch out for that. But a team again that is on the up and up. It's fantastic to see so many more teams getting involved.
Yeah, the series is definitely building. These Monday broadcasts, the Premier Series, the V8 America, it's a really, really strong group of drivers. It's good to see more teams getting involved, some new names every week. It'll be interesting to see where it is in a couple of years.
Yeah, well, that's right, it will be, and hopefully there's going to be some more exciting developments in the future on that. But back up the front, Ethan Grigol, everything just seems to be like a very slow game of chess here. just feeling their way through. But we're on lap 20 now, so we've got just the 5.5 laps to go. Yeah, Ethan's got to start finding where there's a passing lane. Obviously, the best opportunity into turn 1 under brakes there. But yeah, he's not going to drop too much speed there. I wouldn't think he can actually gain speed there with a wider exit. That just seemed to be really good drive out of that last turn 20 by Ethan Grigort. But Madison just seems to be able to get that power down just as cleanly. But you could just see there's deep defence here by Madison.
Madison has a wiggle.
Mistake.
Oh,
so a little tag on the back there.
That was the cleanest I've seen Ethan come out of turn 20.
Yeah, it was just that little fairy tap, wasn't it? It was just a bit lighter than a butterfly landing with sore feet. That's how I would describe that one. Just that ever such a slight tap.
That's how I describe Martin Carroll sometimes.
But Ethan doing an outstanding job here, and Madison's pushing hard here. Lap time last lap of a 34.9, certainly comparable with all his other lap times too. So certainly a great race up the front here, and I think Ethan right now is the faster of the two. I'm sure of it.
You took the words out of my mouth, Brent. And I think right now Madison is holding Ethan up. So I think if he can make the move, he's going to get it done.
Just don't want to get Ethan get too impatient there. Just dropped off the back there a bit, maybe to take avoiding action from running into the back of Madison. Madison's going to know all of his braking points, all of his exit points. I can't see Madison making a big mistake. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but great racing, and it's great to see. We've had Jared Field still driving so well this season. We've had Richard Hampstead driving well as well. Certainly a great job at Road America, I think it was there. But it's great to see, and also Ian Ford at Road Atlanta took the fight up to Madison down, and Madison would be loving this. He would be loving having that serious competition behind him, but just from that little mistake there from Ethan at turn 15, just takes that little bit of pressure off Madison. He's so much better under brakes there though, Ethan Grigor.
You must have different corner numbers than I do, Brenton.
Yeah, you might have the long layout, mate.
I'm on the west, but anyway. Looks like Mick Cracknell's made the pass on Chris Coxhead a few laps ago. He's moved himself up into P8, so he'll be dirty on himself for that slowdown. Mick's real hard on himself and good racer. It's good to see him recover a little bit from there.
Yeah, we have to remember that Coxhead made a mistake on the exit there of turn 11, so that was that let Cracknell, and I think might have let McKnight through as well. But the STC cars running fairly strong tonight. James Keane still holding on to what is an excellent 11th place for him, considering the amount of seat time that he's had. Vlasic 12th, Todd Park still there. It just seems to, we'll call him Martin J from now on. The car number 20 has dropped off in this pack a little bit. And Mansarella and Stratford, surprised they haven't made more significant ground there, considering their earlier grid positions. Greg Sharp still 17th.
Ethan's inside for making a pass here on the final turn.
Just so much extra wheel spin. But should be in the draft. Stay on board with this. Madison will need to go ultra defensive here.
Oh, look for Ethan to do a big crossover here. These guys will be loving this.
Well, they were. This is where Ethan was able to pass Ian Ford in the Saturday race of the Circuit of Americas on lap 10 around that section there. So, wow, some action there. We'll stay with this. We're on lap 23, so the 3 laps to go. Madison down, still leading in the Ultimates Karting Sydney TTR Commodore. It's great to have those sponsors on board too, and if you want to go out to karting in the Sydney area, that's the place to go. 1300 00 KRT, give them a call and book yourself in. But Ethan Grigor, he's still there, and this is just going to make the call for Ethan to get into that Premier Series. That's between the STC team led by Marty Carroll. Whether they do that or not, I'm not thinking that they will, but yeah, it's a great performance by Ethan Grigor again, deep.
These guys are starting to get a bit impatient, I think, here.
Yeah, they're getting a bit racy here.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, if I was Ian Ford back in 3rd place, I'm 9.4 seconds behind. I'm enjoying this action as well because anything could happen here. 17 incident limit as well, so There's Ethan goes off there, so you can clock one more up for him there. Maybe these guys were saving their incident limits too late, but Ethan is quicker than Madison at the moment.
Definitely. Looks like Madison's rear tyres might have gone off a little bit here. What do we got? 2 to go.
2 to go.
No wonder they're getting racy up front here. See Madison's rear tyre, he doesn't have the grip he had, say, 4 laps ago. Could just be the pressure. Yeah. He's been under pressure all race.
Oh, probably not a great place to stick your nose there, Ethan, but he's showing his nose to Madison, and I'm looking forward, hopefully we can give Madison our TeamSpeak details after the race and he can jump on board for an interview no matter what the outcome of this race is here. It's always good to have a chat with Madison, but Ethan Grigor, we can't talk highly enough of the effort that he's put in tonight. He was out-qualified, 4/10 by Madison, but here he is still racing away. We've got 1.5 laps to go.
I might just have to slip over into our TeamSpeak and teach him one of those Dennis moves up there at turn 1.
Yeah, I don't think we'll try and do that. And talking about turn 1, Mario Vlasic and Todd Parks and Anthony Mansorella has lost it into turn 1 trying to pass Martin Creamers. So, drama there. And I think Matty Stratford also lost it in sympathy as well. So, when one goes off, the other one goes off hand in hand. So, position changes back there. But if we go back up to our race lead, and you'll find we're just coming up to 1 lap to go.
Every time Ethan's getting a big wiggle out of that last corner. It's running out of opportunities here.
Yeah, you'd have to think that this was the chance right here. Look how deep Ethan's going there. Crazy deep. He made some crazy gains there.
He's unbelievable under brakes.
I'd say Madison would have been ultra cautious going there. Doesn't want to make any mistakes. You'd certainly back Madison in from here. But we've seen that Ethan's got the potential to stick his nose into turns 14 and 15. That really sharp left-hand turn in the shopping centre, as you described it so aptly before. So Ethan Grigg still hasn't gone anywhere. This is fantastic racing as we head to the last half a lap. We've got about 2 kilometres of racing to go. Ooh. So again, deep. Ethan's got to give himself that fighting chance. Just that little bit of extra speed he lost there, just washed away. And this is where I would have thought his best opportunity to attack is it again deep. But look at Madison. Lessons learned here, people who are watching. Has Madison missed an apex this lap? No, he hasn't. So
doesn't make a mistake twice.
Nah, good luck trying to find your way around Madison down.
Yeah, it's going to take a ballsy move or a big mistake here for Madison not to win this.
So as they enter turn 20 for the last time, last lap, even then defensive by Madison there, just a little short squirt here up to the finish line. A fantastic race. Madison down, congratulations. Round 5 winner here at the Circuit of the Americas, the official V8 iRacing Supercar Championship, brought to you by Demidov Innovations. Wins the race by less than 0.4 of a second. Ian Ford didn't have much reason to talk about Ian tonight. Made some ground up there at the end of the 2 fighting. In an excellent 3rd place. Tennis Catterick again for the second STC car. So STC in 2nd and 4th. Marcelo Rivera, a great job. He will be absolutely stoked with that in 5th place. That's his first race finish for the season, I think, in the main strength of field. Dave Moore, congratulations to him. SSR. James McKnight caused a few dramas. Not the pass of the year there, Sammy. We'll talk about that later on, no doubt. Mick Cracknell recovering. And Chris Coxhead Knight in our final position, top 10, is the old pensioner himself, Marty Carroll, coming through on that wheelchair SDC car. And, yes, we are still. James Keane has done a great job there in the second Way Alive car, holding on to position 11 throughout that race. Mario Vlasic, 12th. Todd Parks, 13th. Who we got? Creamers in 15th. Trying to think who we've lost here. Matty Stratford, actually, did he pass Creamers there at the end?
No.
He did, yes he did.
Oh, he did?
So Matty Stratford, fantastic last lap there, has taken that spot from Creamers to get in the 14th. Creamers, 15th. Mansorella had a few issues tonight in 15th. Greg Sharp, a good job there, steady throughout in 17th. And David Haynes, again, a good job in 18th. Benjamin Zoko, who seems to be a regular here, the 1 lap down in 20th, and Richard Hampstead had dramas in the early stages. Hopefully it won't put him off coming back again next week at Sebring, and our last of our cars tonight. But what an exciting race, awesome race, great to have Madison and Richard Hampstead in the series, but what a great race that was brought to Madison by Ethan Grigol.
Yeah, fantastic race there. That last 5 laps was probably the most exciting of the whole race there. And just in James McKnight's defence there, mate, it wasn't James, it was Dennis.
Okay, but yeah, so going through those results again, and yeah, as we can see on the screen in front of us, yeah, a great win by Madison, a very controlled win, but pressure was there all the way through, and just to win by less than 4/10 of a second, that's an outstanding race, and congratulations to the top 3, Madison Down, Ethan Grigol and Ian Ford.
Yeah, you can see in the chat that Madison's congratulating Ethan on putting pressure on him for 25 laps there, so those guys definitely had a great time out there.
Well, that's 2 races in a row. We had the great racing last week at Phillip Island over the 47 lap Enduro, and I think, you know, the finish there was incredibly close as well, just the 4/10 of a second there between Grigol and Ian Ford. So 2 weeks in a row, and yeah, this track, oh, it's not great for close racing, but yeah, Ethan Grigol, how they started is how they finished. You might look at that and go, oh, it's fairly dull, but positions 1, 2, 3, 4 on the grid, finished 1, 2, 3, 4 in the race. Marcelo Rivera, the big improver, from 8th up into 5th. Actually, that was the biggest gain. No, it wasn't. Mario Vlasic, who took some prisoners on the way through, made a 5-position gain, but clean racing wise, Marcelo Rivera made that 3 positions, so he'll be stoked with that, and it's a good result for both the STC and the ERA teams, but a great result for the TTR team of Madison Down.
Yeah, good to see TTR back in this Monday night broadcast, so congrats Madison Down, great job.
Yeah, well, we had Sean Kelly in the earlier races, and I think Mick Healy as well joined the earlier races, but yeah, it's such a shame that Hampstead wasn't able to you know, have I'm not saying they should have a quick repair, but it's such a shame that he got caught up in that lap 2 incident there, because I've got no doubt at all that he would have been very quick throughout the race, as we know he is. And I'm just going to have a bit of a look here on that lap 2 drama whilst we've got a bit of time. We've got some drivers going to be moving in for interviews shortly. And yeah, you're right, it was Dennis Gaderick who did that, so yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. I noticed that Dennis is wearing Chad Chastain's skin as well, so I'm not sure Chad was...
boys didn't have much time.
No, they didn't, but no, hopefully we'll get some drivers in for an interview of what was a really exciting race. And we might just go to a snappy little commercial break, and we'll come back and talk to some drivers, if that's all right. Mr. Director Hugo is directing again for us tonight for RaceSpotTV, and I hope you all agree that Hugo does a wonderful job. So hopefully we'll be able to throw a little commercial.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn 1 for the first time.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it in at 4, who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Wow, what a race. Round 5 at Circuit of the Americas West Circuit. A great race in the end. Ian Ford, third place, is with us. He took the final podium position behind Madison Down, our race winner, Ethan Grigalt, in second place. Ian, welcome to the post-race show here with RaceSpotTV, brought to you by Demonov Innovations. Mate, to be honest with you, mate, it was a fairly lonely race for you. 9.7 seconds down the road, got caught up on lap 2, it looked like, with Richard Hampstead and Dennis Gatterick. Mate, tell us about the race.
Oh, I got a pretty average start and, just went into turn 1 and started getting pushed around pretty early in the lap, so I gave a bit of a door panel rub alongside to the people that deserved it, but, turn 2 in the second lap just absolutely, turn 1, sorry, on the second lap just absolutely screwed the race. Lost about 7-8 seconds there. It was just, Dennis obviously just lost his braking zone and, it became a point where you can't fit 3 wide around that corner. And, I just put my head down, got back past Dennis and everyone and just, had a lonely race and ended up pretty much matching the time behind that I was after the incident. So, that gives me good hope heading into next week with pace over Ethan and Madison. And, it was just a great race. I wish I was up the front competing with the boys or, maybe even a bit slower with actual cars around me, but just cruising along in third is pretty much as good as it gets, I reckon.
I think you guys... You go, Brent.
Sorry, fastest lap on the third lap of 34.2. You looked like you had a little bit of damage on the side of the car there, obviously from that incident on lap 2, but mate, pretty steady race. I think you were just over 7 seconds behind after the lap 2 incident, so just dropped the 2 seconds from there on in, including that mistake. So, really the Evolution Racing Australia Demonov Innovations car showed some good pace, just got caught out in what was probably a racing incident.
Yeah, definitely. It was just a racing incident, just one of those things. I'll move on. We had good pace. We figured out the tyres, all that sort of thing. And, I didn't really lose any time. I just had a bit of straight line speed damage, so I just couldn't really keep up along the straights or, I just had to keep on pushing around the corners. But the car didn't go off, so that's a massive positive heading into next week at Sebring for what's going to be a massive race.
Yeah, and going on to Sebring next week, fuel restricted race there. Obviously, no one's had a chance to set any times or probably do any practice. But how do you normally go at Sebring? I don't think it's one of your favourite tracks. What's your P's and Q's? But what do you think about that track?
Good track. Good track. Bad racing for me. I do think I spun it in about 4th or 5th gear along the main straight last time I was there. So as long as I don't do that, I won't be too embarrassed, and I'll just try and bring the car home.
And a bit of a shout out as well to your teammate Marcelo Rivera in the Way of Life car tonight in 5th place from 8th on the grid. Considering he's just done no track time at all, really, it's an awesome job by Marcelo.
Yeah, definitely a great job by Marcelo and the rest of our team. We all came out firing, came out with new setup just before the race, and obviously it worked a treat. Great job to see, good job to see all the other big teams out, TTR, TTL, SDC, all the top drivers pretty much turned out. A few of them were a bit embarrassing at times, but that's how it goes when you try and just jump in and do one race.
Yeah, we'll move on from that. Thanks, Ian. But, mate, good job tonight, mate. 3rd position, and, onward to Sebring next week.
Yeah, another solid result for you, Ian. Good drive, mate. And I think you guys did really well in turn 2 to keep the incidents down when Dennis obviously missed his braking marker there.
Yeah, I think I only got my second incident at the next corner there, so the damage I got was caused by 0 times, which is a bit weird, but obviously a bit of net code or something there. Just need to turn around the points deficit that seems to be growing between me and Ethan at the moment. Need to start beating him.
Yeah, well, if you continue to have the names like Madison Down and Richard Hampstead coming along, the points are just going to be more and more on offer as the strength of field goes up. So good job tonight, mate. 3rd position, onwards to next week at Sebring. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Ian Ford there, 3rd place tonight in our round 5 here at Circuit of the Americas. We've got Ethan Grigalt, 2nd position tonight, Ethan, but nothing to be embarrassed about there, mate. That was an awesome drive for the STC Motorsports car. Congratulations to us. Tell us about the race.
Yeah, thanks so much. When I started iRacing, I would never think that a race like that would ever go down between me and Madison Down, so I'm just loving this at the moment. Great racing. I put so much pressure on him, tried to pass, but he just placed his car in the perfect position every time because he has so much more experience than I. But yeah, other than that, great race.
Yeah, he does have more experience than you, and we particularly paid attention the last few laps there. He wouldn't miss an apex. His defence was just so clean, but there was a couple of times there you had a bit of a look, a bit of a tag on the back on occasion, but mate, your race pace was strong, qualifying was strong, good setup this week. Mate, what's it like being so close to Madison Down in that type of pressure situation?
I was just trying hard not to stuff up. Yeah, it was pretty nervous at the start being that close to him, but I kind of settled into a groove throughout the race. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. I got the heart pounding up at the end there when I was trying to go for an attack. But other than that, yeah, it wasn't too nervous for me.
Mate, it was an awesome effort, and the racing was close and exciting throughout. I don't think at any stage there was probably more than a second between you. So, yeah, at the end of the day, you just went down by just less than 0.4 of a second. So, as a team, mate, you've got Bo Cubis on board, you've got Dennis Gadderick back on board. So, the STC Motorsports just seems to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm sure all those at the simpit.com get on board there as well are really happy with how things are going in that team.
Yep, we have a lot of great fast drivers in our team now. We're all working on setups together, trying to change tyre pressures for each race, just kind of experimenting with stuff, and it's only going to get better from here. So,
thanks for the kind words, Ethan. Great job, Ethan. You must have had a smile on your face right from the start of that race, mate, trying to chase down Madison, and looked like you had a pretty good chance with about two or three to go. Madison's tyres might have just been wearing out a little bit, and yeah, we saw you put your nose in, and we thought you were going to get it done a couple of times.
Yeah, the difference I found is I was actually talking to Madison post-race then, is he was really good on the corner exit. Like, he had great drive traction in that car compared to mine. I would just get a bit of wheel spin if I tried to follow his line and all that. But I was much better under brakes, and that pretty much caused him to defend his line in a turn one every single lap, which kind of threw me off guard. I kind of went around the outside a couple of times to try and make that work, but yeah, he just knows where to place his car.
Yeah, it's a tough track to make a pass that, Ethan, but great job there in the sim pit. Holden Commodore, mate. Good job.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, Sebring next week, you still will be holding the championship lead comfortably And mate, your worst position so far, second. So, that's extremely strong position next week, mate. Sebring, your thoughts about the track?
Sebring's actually one of my favourite in this car. All the bumps and smashing the curbs is what makes V8 Supercars fun, and it's a perfect track for it. So I can't wait.
Well, mate, great job tonight. Second on the grid, second in the finish. Just put continual pressure on Madison down the lead of the Premier Series, mate. There's going to be more pressure on you now, Ethan. You know that. There's going to be calls for you to get in the Premier Series. You do what you think you need to do, mate. But for tonight, mate, congratulations. Second place. An awesome job there for Ethan Grigor, who came second tonight in round 5 of our V8 Supercar main strength of field race here at Circle of America's West Track. We have with us our race winner tonight, representing TTR Ultimate Karting Sydney, driving the number 1 badge Holden Commodore. Madison Down, welcome to RaceSpotTV's coverage of the V8 Supercar Series. Congratulations, mate, an awesome performance, and welcome to the series. Mate, tell us a bit about your race.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Pleasure to be a part of that race. That was a big return to Monday Night V8s. Obviously, I used to run in it a lot, and what a race to come back and have a go in. But, been seeing and hearing a lot of Ethan, and obviously he's very, very young, very talented, and good to see a new driver with such good pace. But yeah, what a race. I didn't have the most amount of laps coming in, but I felt like I had a pretty competitive car. Put at pole position. Car was awesome over 1 lap. Absolutely phenomenal pace over 1 lap, and was able to get it up there. Got a good start, got to the lead, but I was kind of hoping my 1 lap pace would transfer over to race, but I wasn't really able to pull away from Ethan the way I was kind of hoping. So I don't think Ethan left my bumper all race. It was unbelievable. I could not make a single mistake, otherwise he would have been through. So credit to Ethan. That was a great drive, and also Ian Ford, a little bit unlucky at the start, got shuffled out a bit, but he had great pace as well, so well done to those guys.
Well, talking about the race, Madsen, a fantastic job by you leading from start to finish. We were talking about it. At any stage, were you just controlling your pace, or were you just on it the whole time?
I'd like to say I was controlling it, but in all honesty, I was 100% 10/10 committed. I obviously, with those kind of races, you can't afford to be 10/10 and drive the tyres off the car. But I was driving basically flat out, and flat out in the V8 is still reserved as such. So you feel like you're driving 6 or 7 tenths. It's not like a GT3 car where you can really hustle it. But I was driving as hard as I could, trying not to lean on the car too much and get any big 4-wheel slides or understeer happening, and then corner exit, same thing. Progress the throttle nice and smoothly and try to keep the rear tyres on it. And definitely in that race I was struggling with braking. I just couldn't pull it up into the important braking zones, and that made it very hard, particularly the last corner in turn 1. Ethan was a lot better under brakes there, and the only thing saving me is my traction was heaps better than Ethan's. So it was absolutely critical that I got the power down on corner exit to build the margin onto the straight, so I had some margin in the braking zones. But yeah, I don't know, the way I controlled it, I guess, was by not making any mistakes. So yeah, I was definitely driving flat out.
Yeah, it was a couple of things that you mentioned there that we did talk about. The drive out of turn 20, the last turn, your progression onto the throttle just seemed to be just that little bit cleaner than Ethan's. Just probably saved your skin a few times, as he did seem to be so strong under brakes into turn 1. He gave you a couple of little love taps there. You got a little bit of light damage there to the back, certainly nothing to be too worried about. But, mate, welcome back to the series. What made you come back? Was it all the talk of the Ethan Grigort's pace?
Yeah, one of those things. I had tonight off work. I haven't been able to commit to too much racing because of work, and I don't know. I just jumped on, and I've seen the SDC and the Evolution guys getting progressively faster and faster in this official series, and obviously those guys also run the Premier Series that I run in as well. But though I don't know, the pace of those guys seems to be a little bit stronger and more competitive in the official. So and of course there's guys such as Ethan that only run this series, they don't run the Premier Series as well. I was interested to jump across and race Ethan. I've obviously seen and heard a lot about him in the last 6 months. He's really grown in ability, and seems like I remember when he first started and he was very fast, but he was just making lots of little errors and stuff with racecraft, and just little mistakes, and that hurts. But I was interested to come and race him tonight just to kind of see where he'd progressed, and he's come a long way. It was definitely an interest for me tonight to race him. That would be the main reason I came back. Also just for fun. I mean, I was just sitting around a bit bored this afternoon and thought, bit of free time, let's do it. But yeah, mainly to race Ethan, to be honest, and yeah, he didn't disappoint.
Well, as a 7-time champion of this series, I hope I haven't undercut you there, but I think it's 7. Tell me if I'm wrong. Mate, is it the type of thing, hopefully, work permitting, do we get to see you back next week at Sebring?
Oh, it's for me. Yeah, I'll be maybe around the place here and there. I won't be committing to the full championship, but I'll see what happens. I would like to try and run these races because thought like Ethan tonight showed me that even though I've had I think 3 wins in a row in the Premier Series and I've had good pace over there in that series, and I felt like I've been getting on top of setup, which I've really struggled with. I was kind of interested to jump across tonight and see how I compared to Ethan, who's obviously been getting a lot of press as well. So, and I learnt a lot from tonight. Places I can improve my car and improve my driving. Ethan's car on the brakes, absolutely ridiculously good. So I've got to go away and work on that. So I wouldn't mind to do a few more of these rounds just to see, I guess, whether I can progress and also race Ethan again. Ethan's if he's not going to race Premier Series, I might have to come and do these ones a bit more often and get my fix against him, because yeah, that was an awesome battle tonight.
Well, we know that UFO's got another alien on board. Sorry, Sammy.
That's all right, mate.
I'll shut up shortly, Sam. But mate, it's super good to have you on board, Madison, and I know the Australian V8 iRacing community is going to be ecstatic that you've joined us, even if it is for the 1, 2, 3, maybe more races, mate. But obviously, the more races that we can see you, the better. Not just for hopefully yourself, but also for those around. Like I know you're saying you're learning from Ethan tonight and what STC and ERA are doing, but I'll guarantee you that STC and ERA are learning way more from you. So, mate, I'll shut up now. Give it over to Sammy, mate. But mate, good job tonight, and thanks for joining this race. And like I said, hopefully we'll see you in the future. Sammy, over to you.
Thanks, Brenton.
Mate, Madison, great job, buddy. Hey, I've got a couple of viewer questions here for you.
Yep.
Someone wants to know who's better, Muggo or Butler?
Well, I think that was a fan poll on the TTR page, and I'm pretty sure Muggo absolutely smashed that one out of the water. So I got to say Muggo. But Damien Butler doesn't, of course, who we're talking about, he doesn't race. He doesn't prove it. He talks it up all the time and doesn't actually get in the car. So you got to say Muggo.
All right, I've got one more for you, mate. If Ethan had got past you, say with a few laps to go, would you have had a big dive bomb? #Scafey.
To be honest, I don't think I had too much to fight with. If he had have passed me in the first half of the race, or maybe the mid part of the race, I probably still had the car beneath me to fight. I think we were quite even in lap times, but yeah, in the last 5 laps, it would have been a hell of a move to get him back. I was really battling for tyres, so I'd say if he got me, it would have been pretty much day done. Unless I could get him back straight away. We did have a side-by-side moment where we did get in the lead briefly and I got him back. Unless it was one of those scenarios where it was a quick exchange and I was able to get straight back in front, crisscross or whatever, that would have been the only way. I don't think I would have been close enough for a dive otherwise.
No, good job, Madison.
Mate, do you want to give a bit of a shout out to you? Sorry, Sammy. Do you want to give a bit of a shout out to your sponsor there, Madison? It's great to have Ultimate Karting Sydney on board. We gave him a bit of a plug during the race, but no doubt you might do the same.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ultimate Karting Sydney is great. I probably haven't quite given them the recognition they deserve recently. I hadn't been there for 7 months, and the owner was calling me a lazy arse and all this stuff, and I went there on Sunday, had a run, and then did the race night last week, and that was a lot of fun too. So they're doing a race night championship. Absolutely great racing, not too dissimilar to the kind of racing you see tonight. The competition level is very high, and Yeah, it's cheap too. So if you're in the Sydney area, definitely check it out. It's every second Wednesday night they do a race night. It's only $60 and you get around about an hour of driving. So anyone who's in the motorsport community knows how expensive motorsport can be, and hire karting is. And for $60 to be racing against a lot of genuine race car drivers and karters, it's great value for money. So yeah, check out Ultimate Karting Sydney.
Sounds like a ball, mate. That's 1300 00 kart. If you're in Sydney, get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good fun.
Well, man, good job, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing your future rounds. And, as I said, hopefully we will get to see you in the future. So, Madison Down, winner tonight of round 5. We've got Marty Carroll, who will join us on board. We've got to turn your hearing aid up there, Marty, if that's all right, the last of our interviews for tonight. Marty Carroll, welcome aboard RaceSpotTV coverage of round 5 here at Circuit of the Americas West. I'm going to shut up for a while. I'll let Sam plug the questions at you, mate.
Hey, Marty. Good to see you here, mate. How was your race? Tell us a bit.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yes, no, it was a good bit of entertainment down there in the mid-pack. Didn't qualify quite as well as I was hoping, so it's quite tricky track conditions out there. But all in all, having 5 STC cars in the top 10 was a good result for the team, and fantastic race out front by Ethan and Mads, and good to see him back. And congratulations to those two and Ian on the podium.
Yeah, mate. It was a really good battle up front. Did you have any good battles back in the field there? I saw you and Mick Cracknell going at it for a few laps there.
Yeah, well, I think Mick got caught up with an incident at Hampstead and stuff, got caught up in early on, lap 2, I believe, and which brought, sort of kind of separated the front 2 from the rest of the field, and sort of, from 3rd place all the way back to 16th or something, we were just concertinaing up right around the lap there, and dropped Mick back behind me, and I was having a good battle with James Keane there for a fair while, but once my tyres come on, he was sort of starting to hold me up a little bit and sort of push me back into Mick, and then me and Mick side by side there for a little bit, and he's not one to worry about who's in front of him. He wants to get past. He's going to make some room. So no, he put a good move on me, and then he was able to get past James and drive on and look to chase down McKnight up in front of him. So. No, good race by him, and me and James kept battling it out, and I finally got past him, and then was able to make a gap and sort of, put me in the 10th place. But by that stage, Chris Cox said and Cracknell and McKnight were a bit too far down the road for me, so it was quite lonely the last 10 laps.
Yeah, mate. I saw you making a few little mistakes out there. Next time you're holding up one of the quicker teammates, can you just let him go?
Oh, my hearing aid wasn't up when I was racing, so it was quite hard for me to hear him when he said, I want to get past.
Yeah, we're going to be working on a new skin for you too, mate. Brenton might have...
There's nothing wrong with this old fella's reflexes, thanks very much.
No, we're going to try and put a bit of a wheelchair on the side of it, because you're pretty slow getting across that line.
No, well, it was, unfortunately, it took a little while to get warmed up tonight, so it took a little bit to get into the race, and not being one of my best tracks I was pretty happy to come away with 10th tonight. So no, all in all, it was a good race overall.
How was the grip out there, Marty? I saw it was like 40-degree track temperature. Was it really slippery?
It was quite warm track temperature, but being partly cloudy, it was actually quite tricky to actually get temperature in the tyre, and so. As you might have seen with James in front of me, he was really struggling to get the power down out of the corners, but other guys were, getting good drive out of the corners, so it was quite tricky. My cold pressures were quite down a little bit, and so it took a little while for them to come on, but I was quite loose early on, as where a few of our boys had quite high cold pressure, and, they were able to get going a little bit earlier than I was, so... Yeah, it was quite tricky track temperatures out there, which is part of having the dynamic weather. It does make those late changes quite crucial. You can be a click either side on tyre pressure, and it could make or break your race.
Yeah, well, some good insight there, Marty. Great job. Another good job by you, mate. You'd be proud of Ethan up there up front in the simpit.com Holden Commodore. And yeah, we'll see you next week, mate. Keep practicing and you might get up there one day.
Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. Awesome broadcast once again.
Cheers, Marty. Good job tonight, old boy. And we'll give you wheelchair access out of here, mate, through the left there, out the door and down the ramp. Marty Carroll, team manager of STC Motorsports. That will wrap us up for tonight. Sammy, good job. Thank you to you too, Hugo Luis, in the director's chair there, mate. As usual, from Brazil, doing an outstanding job. And looking forward to next week at Sebring. So we're staying back-to-back with races in the US of A. Should be some great action there as we head towards round 6 of the official iRacing V8 Supercar Championship with RaceSpotTV. Proudly brought to you by Demonov Innovations. If you need any computer gear, sim gear at all, make sure you get on board demonovinnovations.com for all your sim gear. I'm Brenton O'Brien, that's Sam Compton. Have a great night.